audience is.
Yeah, well, this is
Just
Judy Matejchek, and this is Teacher Tips for Parents. And we have a special treat for you today. Before we start, one of the ways I always start my interviews is where we turn the volume down on criticizing, complaining, and comparing. I love that because I just want to go, and we turn the volume up on the ABCs of appreciation and being and celebration. So today we're celebrating Mrs. Billich, right? Is that okay?
I guess.
Did you ever get celebrated in school before?
Well, they did a video of the ones who were retiring, and then when they had the dinner or whatever it was, they showed the video of those teachers who were retiring.
There you go. Well, how many years did you teach?
21.
21 years, you beat me. That's quite a long time. Where did you teach?
In Michigan and Texas.
Oh, in Michigan too. Michigan and Texas. Great. So what was it like your very first year of teaching? Do you remember that?
It was... All I can remember is that there was a time when one of the days that I was so upset that I had to go home because I was throwing up.
That's good.
Most teachers don't have that problem, but it was just one of those days.
Well, maybe we want to throw up, but we can't. Cafeteria food, right? So, when was your first year? Do you remember your first year of teaching, what year that was?
Probably 1968, I think.
In 68, in the 60s though. Wow. And what grade did you teach?
First and second,
Wow.
but I tried fourth and fifth, and I did not like those kids.
I know what that is too. And what?
They were too mouthy for me, and I was of a different generation. So you didn't talk back to a teacher or your mother or your father.
Oh, I hear you there. Yeah. Well, what did you like about first and second graders? They
still thought their teacher was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And isn't that the grade where they first learn how to read? Were they beginning readers?
Well, towards the end of first grade,
Yeah.
but not at the very beginning.
Yeah. So how many were in your class?
Probably 20.
20? Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. So when you're an elementary school teacher, you have to teach all of those subjects, right?
Well, in the lower grades, it's mostly reading and a little bit of math.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some science, but not very elaborate science.
Yeah.
Science.
What was your favorite thing to teach?
Wasn't any favorite.
Well, you also had 3 children. So did they grow up when you were teaching?
I had 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
Did they grow up while I was teaching?
Yeah, were you teaching while they grew up?
Yes.
Do you think that was... I know a lot of teachers that I know, they have children that they go home to after teaching all day. Is that what you did too?
Yes, I'd have to pick them up at where they were being taken care of and bring them home. But my mother was taking care of them at that time, and so she made dinner, and it was she took the biggest burden off of my shoulders.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Did you have to wake up pretty early to go to school?
Well, I remember 6 o'clock, and I hate 6 o'clock.
Now you can sleep all day. Well, great. Well, if you were going to say anything to the teachers who are teaching school now, what is like one little bit of advice that you would give
Have a lot of candy handy.
them? Have a lot of candy handy?
Yeah, I had, what is it, Jolly Ranchers or whatever it was, a big bag that I got at Walmart, or, yeah. And I'd tell them, I said, now somebody's going to come and observe me, so if you're quiet, you'll all get some candy.
You know that still goes on now, right?
I don't know, but it worked for me.
Oh yeah, well we can't give the kids candy now. It's against the law, right?
Really?
It is, right? That really made me mad when that went into effect, because I used to
Well.
have a big jar of candy. I had an elephant jar, and I used to give that to the kids, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And it was about, I don't know, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, they outlawed candy in the classroom.
Well, they should teach. Then they wouldn't do that.
Right. You know what? That's a little. No, anyway, I'm just kidding, but yeah.
It worked. They loved it.
And
The kids loved it. I
and-
mean, they were angels when some stranger came in. Some, you know, like the principal or somebody. It was great. I'm sure the principal knew what was going on, though.
Yes. That's a good story, isn't it? Yeah. And the kids behave when the principals come in. That's great. Well, good. So, thank you so much for taking some time out. So where are you right now? Are you teaching anyone right now?
No, I'm 88 years old.
No, you're not. You're 88? Well, I bet you are a teacher to people who around here.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, did you teach your children? What was it? I know your children, and they're just beautiful people. They're
Thank
my
you.
friends. Yeah.
Thank
So because you were probably teaching them as well.
Well, there was a big difference in age. You know, Tom was the oldest, and he's 65 now, and the youngest is 44. So there's a huge, every 4 or 5 years, somebody made a mistake. And we had another baby, and so there's lots of years between their ages.
Well, you're also a teacher to your children too, don't you think?
Well, they say that, you
Yes.
know. They say, well, you taught us blah, 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 you know. I
Well-
said, well, I'm glad I did.
Well, what was one of the things that you taught your own children?
How to respect older people.
There you go. And they certainly do. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for being here and for taking the time. It's all here, and it's about a 10-minute interview. And I really appreciate you having me come in and talk to you.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
It's nice to meet another retired teacher, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are gone at my age. I'm lucky to be here yet.
Yeah, my mother was a teacher too, and all her life, and so she taught. She did the same as you. That like there were 5 of us at home, and we were all Polish.
And I'm Polish.
Yes, and she would come home from teaching the kids all day, and then there was all of us. So I know. It was quite a job. I didn't appreciate it growing up, but now that I was growing up and I have my own kids, I really appreciate how hard she worked with other people's children as well as us. So,
Yeah. Well, I have 4 boys and 1 girl, and the boys always, and the girls that they married, thank me for teaching them how to operate a washing machine and iron clothes. All those women's jobs.
yeah.
So, and I'm glad I taught them too. I mean, you know, you had to delegate work because it was too hard. And finally, when I finally convinced my husband we should have somebody come in and help me, he didn't want that, but I threatened him with divorce, so he gave in.
Well, it's a big job. Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of work, and grocery shopping, and take care of their clothes and whatnot. Sorry, you have to come back later.
Where's your medicine, sugar?
Yeah, no. she
Well,
needs a
unless you want to leave it,
You need to take it.
well,
Yeah,
then you have to
okay.
come back later.
Okay.
Well,
I'll come back.
No, it's not, it's just a second to take out.
Yeah, and
It's
you
just
know
a
what?
second.
We're all finished anyway. Well, thanks a lot for being the little interview and stuff. And this has been Teacher Tips for Parents. We'll see you next week, and with another little interview. Wonder if I could find another retired teacher out there to interview. Thanks a lot, Bobby.
You're welcome.
You be kid.
Thank you.
Yeah.